Hello, welcome to the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel. I'm Jared, and with me is Holly. We're doing a Meeple Mentor review of Kabuto Sumo from BoardGameTables.com. Now they just changed their name to AllPlay, so depending on when you're watching this video, it's going to be AllPlay, but they, of course, still brand it as BoardGameTables.com until they run out of their inventory. But Kabuto Sumo is a really fun themed bug insect sumo wrestling game on their like nature floor level.
Bugs on a stump.
Bugs on a tree stump. It's really cute. There's a lot of small rounded wooden discs that slide very, very well along this flat surface, which is the sumo ring that you play in. Mm-hmm. And you might think, well, how do you, so the game sets up with these discs, depending on player count, and there's small, medium, and large discs that are just kind of out there. Plus, everybody has their one beetle piece, which is their sumo represented on that board. Now, every turn, you're allowed to place and push a disc into that ring, at least until it's fully in. Once it's fully in, you gotta stop pushing. But anything that gets knocked off, other discs, you get to collect, and you can use those on your next turn. But your ultimate goal is, of course, being a sumo game, to push your opponent's insect off the ring. And it's not as easy as it sounds. So there are player powers and unique characters that you can be in this, even though the pieces that you start as generally don't change. Now, there's one insect character where, yes, you substitute out the one like standard beetle color with like a large piece because he's like a big boy, But there are other insects where they add in extra pieces that assist them, if you will. It's like a new type of piece to enter the playing field that might help you push a whole heap of discs and help you gain an advantage. Just by having a lot of discs can really, swing the tide. What do you think? We've played this quite a few times.
We have.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's not overly difficult, but it's not super easy either. It's very entertaining. And you always think that you're going to succeed with something and you really don't, which is great.
It's true.
Because then you have to rely on other players to give you discs.
There are
so you can stay in the game.
Some ways that, in order to gain maybe a special piece, it'll say like you have to give another player one or two specific discs, and then you can enter your special piece in the game. And sometimes that really helps other players, because one stipulation is if you run out of things to play and to push into the sumo ring on your turn, well, then you're done. You
lose.
You're out.
I did find that it's not I consider it a dexterity game, but with most dexterity games, my anxiety is through the roof. This is not like that. It's kind of calming, and it's hilarious at the same time. So you got to give it that.
It's pretty entertaining. You really get into it, which is surprising because most of the pieces are just discs, and it's pretty abstracted. But it plays so quick, but not too quick. But it plays very smooth. Like it's
just good.
The turns go by very quickly, I think is what I'm trying to say, because every time it gets back to your turn, you're already planning, where am I going to move the entrance piece on around the ring, and which direction am I going to push this next disc, and do I need to use the big one, or should I just keep using these small ones?
And how close to the edge am I? Do I need to push myself back some?
Right. And you try to go, well, if I push here, is that going to end up pushing this one on the other side? I don't know. Like, they're not quite touching yet, and if it doesn't touch at the right place, it might go off to the side. So sometimes it just never goes the way you expect, which is part of the fun, because you're like, how many discs can this thing actually hold without it being falling off? It's very it's entertaining. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it a lot.
I think after we played one time and we each had like, unique characters, we said, I think we should try it again with new characters.
We tried every character.
We had to try every character at that point because the game didn't take very long to play, and it's that fun that you just want to keep trying it. And
it has great replayability.
yeah, and no two games are going to be the same. I mean, how could they? Like, it's a dexterity game, so, it's all based on the movement of pieces, which you have very limited control over.
Yes.
I mean, turns out you really don't have a whole lot of control. It's just about like, how many pieces can you push at one time, because trying to figure out where they're going to go is almost impossible. So I think it's very well designed in that way, where, there can't be someone who's just like perfectly good at this game. Like it would be very, very difficult to be perfectly good, because there's so many, random elements, if you will, because of the way the discs, move against each other. It's not the kind of randomization like drawing a card or rolling a dice. It's like, I'm not good enough to calculate this.
Right.
Like, how am I supposed to
This is some physics that I don't understand.
So it's much more on a strategy scale of dexterity than it is randomness.
Yeah.
So I think it hits that sweet spot of what you want in this kind of experience. And I mean, it's a small box, but they fit a lot in there. And you can play 2 to 4 people. Which, I mean, this is great. And you know what? I think you can play with pretty much any age. Does it have an age limit on here? I think, 6 years and up. That sounds about right. If you have a 6-year-old that's interested in a play and can stay focused enough to be able to push a disc onto a ring, like, totally, this is great. I think it's fun. I really enjoyed it.
I enjoy it. It's a really good game.
It says on the box plays in 15 to 20 minutes. I'd say that's about right.
Yeah.
Setup for all the discs at the start of the game doesn't take that long, especially once everyone sees how it's supposed to look. And then you play multiple times and everyone can help set it up. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, turns play pretty fast, so it just feels fast, because there's never really any downtime. So there's a lot of positives here. I can't recall how much, the price of the game is, to kind of comment on that. But I think for what you get, it's pretty good. It's entertaining, and I recommend it.
I'd definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
I'm going to keep this in my collection for sure.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, this has been our review of Kabuto Sumo. If you want to see more reviews or our tutorial videos, our news every other Friday, certainly stick around on the channel, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell, do all the YouTube stuff so that you can see all our content. Until then, I've been Jared.
I'm Holly.
I'll see you next time. Bye.